الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. All praise is due to Allah, and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad and the rest of the prophets and the messengers and their followers until the day of judgment. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new episode of The Robe That Binds Us, ahlusunnah waljama'aah. We're still talking about the concept of imamah, leadership in Islam, and how Islam provide their follower a perfect system, a political system, and a way to be ruled, and the way to rule the Muslims. And actually, Muslims, if they go back to what Allah has provided them with and start implementing it in their life and in their countries and their societies, no doubt they will be a role model for humanity, which is now everybody looking for a system which can provide justice, freedom, and also can provide an environment where people can live in peace and live in prosperity. We were talking about the different types of imamah and how the leadership can reach that position, what are the ways that are permissible and what are the ways which is not permissible. And today we will talk a little bit about the rights of imams in Islam. But remember, we're talking about the imams, either the general imamah, the caliph or the khalifa, or the partial imamah, the one who is an imam or a leader of a specific country or a specific region. Those leaders, as much as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them rights, as much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also put responsibilities on their shoulders. And this is the way it works in Islam. Everything based on justice. There is duties and there is responsibilities. There is rights and there is responsibilities. As much as you have higher position in Islam, as much as your responsibility became also higher. Islam honor the parents so much, but in the other way, in the other hand, He gives so much responsibility. He gave them so many responsibilities, and He put them in charge of the children to raise them in the right way. Otherwise, they will be asked about this responsibility. Also, Islam gave the leaders of the Muslims high position and so much rights in order for them to fulfill their duties towards their communities and their society. Let's go over some of the rights of imam very quickly. First, obeying the imam in good is obligatory. If the imam of the Muslim order Muslims or order his people or his citizen to do something, the citizen must obey their imam, must obey their leader. Otherwise, there is no point from being a leader and people will not obey you, will not obey the law that this person will put in the country. If this law or this order is good, is not something against what Allah or His Messenger ﷺ said, it became obligatory upon the citizen to obey their leader in whatever system he will put in order for him to lead them to what is beneficial for the whole society. The other point, praying for their guidance. This is part of their rights, that we pray for them. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, if I have a request, which is Allah, if I know that one of my requests, or Imam Ahmad said, we can put it another way, we said, Imam Ahmad said, if I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept from me one request or one supplication, I will make that request for the imam or for the leader of the Muslims, for the leader of the Muslim, that I will ask Allah to guide him and to help him to be good. Because if he became good, the whole society will benefit from him. We know that Imam Ahmad faced a very hard time and he went through a big fitna and a hardship and a calamity with the leaders of his time. Al-Mu'tasim, he put him in jail and he was tortured during Al-Mu'tasim's time. But even though Imam Ahmad was in jail, by the order of Al-Mu'tasim, he was heard making asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support Al-Mu'tasim in his fight against those who attacked the Muslims country, the Ammuriyah, which was a Muslim country in that time, where people attacked that city, and Al-Mu'tasim went to support the Muslims over there and to protect his border. Al-Imam Ahmad was praying for his success. So praying for their guidance, actually it's part of their rights. Also advising and commanding them to do good. Let's put it this way. Them to do good and forbidding them from evil through all permissible means, and not to compromise the religion. Not to compromise the religion. There are so many great examples of how the Muslim scholars used to say the truth, and they will not compromise the religion. They will go to the leader, they will go to the president or to the caliph or to the imam of the Muslim, and they will tell him, that's right and this is wrong. You should do that and you should not do this. And they will not compromise their religion, and they will not ever give up what they believe to gain something from this word, from this word. That's why the scholars used to avoid visiting the leaders much. They will not be like their buddies and always hanging with them. No, they will only go there if there is need. So they will keep the relationship more formal between them and the leaders Also, fighting under their command if they fight for the right cause. That's one of the rights of the Imam. If there is a fight for a right cause to defend the country, to protect the country, and he asked the Muslim his citizen to enroll in the army or to help him, every Muslim should offer his help to their leader. Also, performing Hajj under their leadership, Also praying behind them or whoever they appointed in Jumu'ah and Eid. So if there is an imam been appointed by the government, some people say, oh, we don't pray behind them. No, that's not right. You should pray behind whoever, any Muslim who will lead the prayer. To be in the jama'ah, to be with the jama'ah. Also following the imam in public matters, such as declaring Eid or the beginning of Ramadan or peace treaties, etc. It's very important to understand the meaning of this point, because some people, they might declare their own Eid and they're living in a country where there's Muslims and they have leaders and they have scholars and muftis and judges, and they will go and make their own Eid or their own Ramadan or their own marriage system and divorce system. No, they should go by the law of the country where they're living in. And when they declare Eid, they go with them. When they declare the Ramadan, they should start with them. And when they end Ramadan, they end with them. And also peace treaties. Like some people said, I'm not responsible for any treaties or peace treaties that the leader of this country gave to other people. That's not right. Because there always somebody represent the community, the public. It cannot be a treaty done by every single individual in the country. So if this leader of this country give his word to, for example, some tourist to come and enter the country, to visit the country, they get a tourist visa or a visitor visa to the country, nobody can say, I have nothing to do with it. No, they have a treaty now between them and the Muslim country, and the Muslim should respect that treaty and that rights of that visitor and not to harm him in any way. So in public matters, we go with what they say. Also, not cussing them or cursing them in public or saying that which may break the jama'ah of the Muslims. Some people love to just say the bad things always bad things about those in public, and it might start fitna in the community and start in the community a sense of carrying maybe arms and fighting and breaking the jama'ah, and it might lead, some words can cause more harm to the society more than even carrying arms or shooting bullets. So the person should watch his words carefully. But this doesn't mean in any way, it doesn't mean in any way that the person will not mention what is right and what is wrong. But there is difference between talking about the wrong deeds or the wrong actions or what is wrong and talking about the individual himself. So for example, if I have a common, there is a sin being practiced commonly in a society, I can talk about it. Like for example, dealing with interest. I warn Muslims from dealing with interest. I'm warning people from taking loans with interest because this is against the Islamic law. Or fornication. Or, for example, lying. But not necessarily to talk about the person who allowed this on public, because this is not going to benefit anybody. It might cause problem in the society. There is a difference between talking about the sin itself and the person who committed the sin or who allowed it to happen, because there is no point from talking about him in public, especially in Jumu'ah prayer or Eid prayers. Also, encouraging people to always be united around their leaders and to be positive with their leaders, that they advise them, they help them, they support them, to correct them, to be positive in their manners with their leaders, not negative. So this is basically some of the rights of the Imam. What about the unjust rulers? How can we deal with unjust rulers? One, it's forbidden to take arms against the unjust ruler. In Islam, the Prophet ﷺ made this very clearly. The Prophet ﷺ, in several ahadith, tens of narrations, the Prophet ﷺ was asked specifically about those unjust rulers. How should we treat them? Can we carry arms against them? Can we fight them? The Prophet ﷺ said no. So this is what your Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said. But it doesn't mean that, okay, we accept, we let them do what they want. No, carrying arms, killing Muslims, fighting Muslims only will cause more problem to the society. But we've been ordered, the Muslim scholar explained that very clearly, that the Muslim should try to impeach such a ruler. It's obligatory upon the people who elected them, the leaders of the Muslims, to remove him from his position if he became fasiq, using completely peaceful manners, impeaching him through the civil ways, the parliament, the shura council, or whatever council that they have, who has the power to do that. Unfortunately, this will bring us to the conclusion of our episode today. So I will leave you now and hope inshallah to see you soon in the near future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.